If you've been online lately, you've probably noticed something strange. People don't just disagree about electric cars, they really hate them. Scroll through any EV video and you'll see the same arguments and comments. EVs are killing driving, batteries don't last, you'll freeze in the winter, it's a total scam. It's everywhere and it's getting louder. But what if most of that hate isn't actually about cars? What if it's about change, fear, and a little bit of fake news? Today on EV Unplugged, we're separating fact from fiction. We'll cover the reasons people are turning against electric cars, the 5 biggest myths circulating online currently, and the industries that benefit from keeping those myths alive. So before you scroll past another viral video, EV horror story, stick around because the truth might surprise you. Let's be honest, electric vehicles challenge everything we thought we knew about driving, and that alone makes it a lot of people uncomfortable. For over a century, the formula for a car hasn't really changed. You fill it with fuel, it makes noise, it vibrates, it rattles. If it's British, it feels alive. Now, someone says, we're taking away the gears, the sound, the smell. Trust us, it's better. That's a big ask. And for many people, driving isn't just transport, it's an identity. You learn to drive in a manual, you grow up with engine noise as part of your life. And now it's apps and charge cards and kilowatts per hour. That's not just a technology shift, it's a lifestyle rewrite. For older drivers especially, it can feel like being left behind in your own hobby. And when people feel left behind, they push back. It's easier to say EVs are rubbish than I actually don't understand them. Then there's range anxiety, the big one. It's the fear of running out of battery miles from home, stuck on the hard shoulder while traffic zooms by. Never mind that modern EVs easily go 250 to 350 miles on a single charge. That image of being stranded is burned into people's minds, and social media doesn't help. One viral story about a driver stuck at a broken charger gets shared thousands of times, while the quiet reality, millions of smooth, boring, successful trips never go viral. The truth? The average UK driver travels less than 30 miles a day. That means most people could charge once a week and be absolutely fine. And the charging network is growing fast. More than 80,000 public chargers are now across the UK, with more ultra-rapid ones coming every single month. Still, fear is emotional, not logical. If someone tried an early EV years ago when chargers were rare, that bad memory sticks, even if the world has completely changed since. And then there's money. The issue that hits hardest. When you look at EV prices, they can seem outrageous. Petrol hatchback might be 25,000. The equivalent EV, 40,000 or more. It's easy to stop right there and think, this isn't for me. And that's exactly what many people do, but that's only half the story. Once you factor in running costs, maintenance, and incentives, the math starts to shift dramatically. Let me break it down. So we've got running costs. Electricity is roughly 1/3 the cost of petrol per mile. Home charging overnight can be as low as 3 to 5 pence per mile, compared to 15 to 20 pence in a petrol car. You've got maintenance. EVs have fewer moving parts, no oil, no clutch, no exhaust, no timing belt. That means fewer things to break and much cheaper servicing. Then there's tax incentives, lower company car tax, and benefits in low emission zones that petrol drivers can't access. Depreciation. Used EV vehicles have dropped sharply, which sounds bad for sellers, but it's brilliant if you're looking to buy one. And that brings us to something big, the second-hand EV market. Just a few years ago, used EVs were rare and very expensive. Now it's a buyer's paradise. You can pick up a Nissan Leaf for under £7,000, a Renault Zoe for around £5,000, or a Hyundai Ioniq or Kia e-Niro for well under £15,000. Even some Tesla Model 3s, once £50,000 new, are now coming in at less than 20. That's a massive opportunity for ordinary drivers to experience EV ownership without the hefty new car price tag. So when people say EVs are only for the rich, that might be true 5 years ago or so, but not anymore. Second-hand EVs are now some of the cheapest to run cars on the road. The problem is most people haven't yet realized that. They still think EVs are kind of a luxury toy, when in reality they're quietly becoming the budget option for smart drivers. Now let's talk about where a lot of this hate really does come from: the fake news machine. Misinformation about electric cars spreads faster than facts, and it's not by accident. Clickbait and algorithms. The internet rewards emotion, not accuracy. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Facebook thrive on engagement, and fear engages. If a video thumbnail says EV disaster, you'll likely click just to see what went wrong. But when the truth is something like EV works fine, small issue resolved, nobody cares. Outrage sells. Every click means ad revenue, and every angry comment keeps that algorithm spinning. That's why stories about EV fires or charging chaos gets pushed to millions, even when they're based on very, very isolated events. The amplification cycle, it goes like this. One driver has a problem, maybe a charger fault or a bad experience. They post about it online. A YouTuber picks that up and exaggerates it for views. Suddenly, it's proof EVs are unreliable. That story gets shared in Facebook groups, quoted in comments, and recycled across podcasts and talk shows. Each time losing a little bit more context. Each time becoming a little bit more extreme. By the time it reaches your uncle's WhatsApp group, it's gospel truth. EVs don't work. That's not journalism. We also need to talk about psychology. People believe in stories that confirm what they already think, not what they know. It's called confirmation bias, and it's incredibly powerful. If you already suspect EVs are bad, you'll pay attention to every single post and ignore the positives. You'll share the bad stories and scroll past the good ones. That's why well-meaning people end up spreading fake news. They're not lying. They're reinforcing what feels true to them. So who benefits? Behind all this, let's be honest, there's often money and influence at play. Some media outlets and influencers have direct or indirect ties to industries that stand to lose from electrification: oil, gas, or legacy car makers. If EV adoption slows, those industries win a little bit more time so they can keep the public confused, divided, and skeptical. It isn't just convenient, it's profitable. So the next time you see a viral EV disaster, ask yourself, who benefits if you believe it? Because the truth is, fake news doesn't need to be accurate. It just needs to be shareable. And that's why it works so well. Here's a stat that might shock you. Petrol and diesel cars catch fire about 20 times more often per mile driven than EVs. And when an EV does catch fire, it makes international news. Why? Because it's rare, it's visual, and it's dramatic. EV fires do burn hotter and longer, but they're less frequent. It's a perception issue, not a reality one. You can't drive far or charge easily. Well, that's a myth that might have been true 5 years ago, but it's ancient history now. The new average EV in 2025 can travel 250 to 350 miles on a single charge. With over 80,000 public chargers in the UK alone, charging is faster and more reliable than ever. Ultra-rapid chargers can give you 80% in under 20 minutes. That's about the time it takes you to grab a coffee and scroll your phone. For most people who drive less than 40 miles a day, you'll plug in at home overnight and never visit a petrol station again. Or how about this myth? EVs don't work in cold weather. Yes, cold weather affects battery performance and can drop between 10 to 20%, but petrol cars also lose efficiency in winter. They burn more fuel, take longer to warm up, and pollute more. Modern EVs use heat pumps and battery conditioning, which warms the battery up before you set off. So unless you live in the Arctic, your EV will be just fine in the cold. Yes, you may notice a mileage decrease during those colder months, but you learn to adapt to it. The truth is, most EVs myths are based on old data, edge cases, or emotional bias. And that's what fake news feeds on. Things that sound true, even if they're completely not. So let's pull back the curtain just a little bit more, because when you follow the money, you realize the EV backlash isn't just random noise online. It's a coordinated effort echoing something we've seen before. Think back to when seatbelts were introduced. Car manufacturers resisted. They say people won't want them. When catalytic converters arrived, oil companies complained about the cost. And when climate change first hit the headlines, entire industries funded campaigns to sold out. Sound familiar? History repeats itself, and this time the target is EV cars. For decades, the global economy has been built around fossil fuels, refining oil, selling petrol, servicing combustion engines. It's not just fuel companies, it's mechanics, part suppliers, even government that relies on fuel tax. So when EVs threaten to disrupt all that, you're not just asking a few companies to change, you're shaking up trillions of pounds of global infrastructure. And that kind of change comes with pushback. Some legacy car makers have adapted brilliantly, but others drag their feet while quietly funding studies that question the EV's benefits. There are think tanks whose job isn't to tell the truth, it's to delay progress just long enough for their sponsors to make another quarter's profit. Meanwhile, certain media outlets and influencers make their living off outrage because fear gets clicks, and clicks pays bills. So the next time you see an influencer claiming EVs are a government scam or electric cars are failing, remember, outrage is content and content is currency. This isn't the first time innovation faced resistance, and it won't be the last. But as history shows, truth tends to win. It just takes time. You don't have to love electric cars. They're not perfect. Charging still needs work, and the prices need to keep on dropping. But most of the hate we see online comes from fear and misinformation, not experience. If you're still skeptical, that's fine. Just make sure your own opinion is based on facts and not Facebook. Try one. Talk to an owner. Look past the noise, because once you do, you might find EVs aren't the problem. They're actually part of the solution. And we've not even talked about cleaning up the air around schools and towns where people live. And I've done a whole video on that. So if you want to go and do a little bit more research on that, please do so. So my name's Craig, and this is EV Unplugged. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as I really want the channel to get to about 1,000 subscribers by March next year. It costs you nothing, but really helps me keep the channel up to date with all the EV news from around the world, good and bad. And if you'd like to learn more about the pollution and how EV cars are cleaning up towns and cities' air and reducing those numbers of lung disease and cancer, then please check out this video above. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.